Hello. Thank you for tuning in again. This is going to be a bit of an unorthodox recording or video, as instead of shooting from the hip or reading from something pre-done, I'm going to play an audio clip of an exchange about Last Man Standing being canceled on Wham Radio, 1600 AM, Ann Arbor, Michigan, with Linda Hughes and Richard Detering about the politics behind Last Man Standing being canceled. So without further ado, let's go into that and see how this goes.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the American Dream. I am your host, Linda Hughes, here with my co-host, Pastor Richard Detering. Let's take a call from Joe. We're keeping everybody holding on the lines, but sorry about that. 822-1600 if you want to chime in. Joe, you kept me from singing happy birthday to our beloved Derek over there because I knew you would be recording it, and I just can't take that chance.
Yeah.
I knew you'd like that.
Good morning, Joe.
You are.
I'll pause it there for a second to explain that I record several live broadcasts for such occasions as this, that a good exchange happens on air so it can be edited out and shared with people via Facebook and Twitter and Gab and grassfire.net if you happen to be on there, or if you happen to be on Grassfire, Gab, or Twitter or Facebook, look me up, Joseph M. Leonard, L-E-N-A-R-D. My handle on Twitter, Gab, and Grassfire is at JLenardDetroit. JLenardDetroit. Back to the recording.
Severely hampering the release date of your album by not giving me the material.
That is my...
And to further explain, it's an ongoing joke. I caught Linda singing a spoof of the tune Reunited during the campaign, and it's been regurgitated back to her several times, so she's a bit sensitive about singing, knowing that I'll be capturing it, and it's an ongoing gag that we're going to have a Linda Hughes American Dream album.
A goal.
Yeah, and happy birthday to Derek. I told him that off air, and want to say it on air officially. It's
nobody deserves to have a better birthday.
We're getting there fairly quick.
And everybody else with birthdays in May, happy birthday to them too. I wanted to talk to you about we normally talk about movies, so you're the logical person to talk about television and ABC's political decision to cancel Last Man Standing.
I am so angry about that.
That was hideous.
Dick Kupke even mentioned it on Trigger Talk, tying in that it's pro-gun, and I'm going to mention another show which is anti-gun by comparison. Now, granted, Last Man Standing on ABC isn't CBS's Big Bang with 14 million viewers and a 3.4 rating in the key 18 to 49 demographic.
Right, which I'm
going to pause it there for a second to add, because you'll hear us kind of step all over each other, and you'll miss me saying Last Man Standing averages 8 million viewers, very high in the key demographic, third overall, all-time, third overall all-time comedy on ABC as far as ratings, and yet they cancel it.
I'm sorry, I don't understand that show. I have friends that love that show, but I've tried to watch it a couple times. I just... Plug your ears, Dan Martin and Pat Kolbick.
I love the show.
Do you?
I absolutely love the show.
Maybe I just haven't given it enough of a chance. Okay, go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
So do I. I love...
Okay. All right. Big Bang wins.
Last Man Standing, to me, is my second favorite show. My first favorite's Big Bang, and that's only because it's going in its 10th season, whereas Last Man would have only been going into its 6th or 7th.
It was finishing up their 6th, and they didn't do the last couple. They were supposed to do the last couple episodes, and they didn't do it. And the lady says it's not because of the politics, it's not because it's the guns.
Which can't be true.
She's saying, well, first of all, just It is their third highest rating show that they have in the air right now.
Wow.
So there's a lot of stuff. Their argument, and the president of the ABC says, it's not political. We just don't want to do comedies on Friday nights anymore. So
because that would be horrible.
Gone.
Nobody wants to laugh on Friday after a long week of work.
They're going to this fantasy stuff.
Laugh?
They're going once upon a time, a new Marvel thing. So it's all this stuff.
So move it to another day.
Move it to another day.
Exactly. Like Linda pointed out, I was going to point out that if they didn't, a show doing that well on your network, if you want to rearrange your comedy night, you move the show that's doing so well with 8 million viewers and high ratings to another day and time slot. You don't outright cancel it. That's a bogus argument.
Exactly.
How about Saturday night?
Tuesday nights are great.
Million viewers and a high rating, potentially the third highest comedy ABC has ever had. You move it. You don't cancel it. That's complete bogus. You can bet they're going to keep Designated Survivor, which I was previously going to refer to, which is about a right-wing conspiracy to, violently overthrow the government, and a left-wing loon Democrat HUD secretary is the hero who becomes the president.
Exactly.
And the only good Republicans in it are the ones who helped the left-wing loon pass gun control. It only had 5 million viewers and only a 0.9 rating.
Well,
they'll continue that, and Blackish, they'll never cancel that, with only 3.5 million viewers and a 0.8 rating.
Instead of let me give you this, there is hope. And one thing that a lot of people aren't recognizing is one of the reasons they're getting rid of this. And when the ABC president was asked about it, she did not comment. And it was this, guess who produces Last Man Standing?
Fox.
20th Century Fox.
20th Century, yes. So there's an outside chance.
So here's our chance as conservatives.
Wow.
Why can't Fox put that on Fox?
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
Take off one of the repeats of all the shows that
you know what? That's going to put a lot of people from ABC, keep it on Friday nights.
Yeah.
Right where it's at. Put it on Fox on Friday nights. And, I signed the petition to boycott ABC. I don't watch ABC anymore. It's all
I was going to say, I don't watch anything on ABC.
But the bigger thing is to stop using their sponsors.
Exactly. And let them know why. Let them know why you're not going to use them. Well, here's the deal, too. Tim Allen was on, I think it was Jimmy Kimmel's, one of the Jimmys.
Yeah.
Like a week before this cancellation, right? And he was talking about being a conservative in Hollywood. And how if you didn't toe the line with the liberals, you could, lose your job. I mean, he's being very funny. And then a week later, boom, he's gone.
He's gone. And people actually didn't hear what he was saying because he compared it to being in Germany, but not just in Germany. He said 1930s Germany, not 1945s, but 1930s Germany, where you started seeing the separation and the segregation between the socialist and the conservative, the capitalist and the free market people. You started seeing this division, and all of a sudden it was terrible to be a conservative in the 1930 Germans.
Right.
A lot of people says, "Oh, look, he's comparing being a conservative to the Holocaust and to Nazi being in Nazi Germany." Not exactly what he was saying.
Yeah.
But because he said Germany, it became such a hot fire that people started grabbing a hold of it.
Right. Well, we saw.
I wanted to add what Linda was saying, or Rich, forget which one. About Tim Allen talking about being a conservative. Well, number one, I don't consider Tim Allen a conservative. He's a moderate Republican. Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, moderate Republicans. They are not ultra-conservatives. But anybody who's not an ultra-left-wing loon out in Hollywood is obviously painted as a conservative.
A clip of one of the shows, and I have to say I haven't seen the show. And I have heard it's really good. But the daughter was having her father give a speech at her graduation. So she was saying like all the things that you can't say, and he was getting madder and madder by the minute. You can't say this, you can't say ladies and gentlemen, welcome to, she said, "Oh, Dad, you got to scratch that. That's not good. You can't say ladies and gentlemen. You're leaving out the people who may not identify as either." And he kind of rolls his eyes. So then he goes and writes this speech, just mocking the whole politically correct everything, and the wife is just like looking at her going, you can't do that.
No,
it's hilarious.
And I really, it's on Netflix.
Oh, good.
And I really suggest people to get on there and just binge
because I like
on
Tim
it.
Allen.
binge on it.
And the reruns are on a couple of different other stations up and down the dial if you've got Dish or DirecTV or a good cable subscription with a lot of channels. And you kind of anticipated with where I was going to go. It is produced by 20th Century Fox. And people should call the Fox network, not Fox News, not your local Channel 2 affiliate, but Fox Network.
And tell them to pick it up.
In New York or wherever it's
They've got to be thinking that.
Ask that they pick it up.
Yeah.
The sad part about it is, now, Tim Allen came out and says, this blindsided me. In other words, he didn't know this was coming. Right. And so you see all over the media is, you know, he wasn't blindsided. Here's an interview with the president, and it doesn't say anything to the fact that he wasn't blindsided. Right. It's just that this was a last-minute decision. Exactly. Well, guess what? That would blindside somebody.
Exactly.
You know, and people are trying to appease ABC. Oh, you know, it's not political. It's not because of this. And
you know, people aren't stupid.
Saying, yeah, it really is.
I mean, even the left knows this is a conservative.
And here's what's sad about it.
A move against conservatives.
The show makes fun of conservatives and liberals alike, and progressives, and extremely progressives, and Canadians. I mean,
oh, good.
So, I mean, it makes fun of everyone, and it just so happens that the main character in it is partners in a sporting goods store like Cabela's type thing, and he does vlogs, and his vlogs are very, very conservative, and people love them, and they've just gone too far, and it was politics that took it out, and since I can't sit in good faith saying that I watch ABC, because the only thing I watch on ABC is Last Man Standing. Yeah. So for me to sit there and say I'm boycotting, well, yeah, technically I am, because they have nothing else I want to talk to their sponsors.
Right. And I'm usually against the sponsorship boycotts because, you know,
but you can talk
in this
to the
sense,
sponsor.
You can at least say,
I'm unhappy with their decisions.
Ask them to bring the show back. I mean, they're sponsoring the show. They have to know what kind of a show it is, and they have to feel that pain too. All right, thanks, Joe. We've got...
the episode you were talking about, Linda, was one of the last ones, and was probably the last straw with ABC, because that is a fantastic and perfect episode.
That's what they'll call the next show, the last straw.
Check this current season out once it's available on Netflix or whatever to see that episode, if nothing else, because it is fantastic. It's circulating, of course, the internet now. You could probably find it on YouTube.
Well, hopefully this will just make it more popular.
That's the one episode I haven't seen.
This will just make the show more popular.
Look what it did with Duck Dynasty when they tried to do the same thing.
Right, exactly.
Duck Dynasty, actually, that ended up taking what was going to be Duck Dynasty's last year. When they went and it gave it 4 more years.
Wow!
You know, now they're finally going off, but it gave them 4 more years because of what A&E did.
Yeah, I think conservatives will rally around this show.
I think so.
I really do.
They need to. It's a fun show.
Take care, my friends. Love you.
All right, love you too, Joe. Bye. Thanks. We love our listeners, don't we? Isn't that great to have such a good relationship? Speaking of loving our listeners, we have Michael Langford online too, who also wants to talk about Last Man Standing, and he's the new host of Guys in Trucks. Sundays at 1 o'clock, and everybody's been really enjoying that show. I don't listen to it because I'm in church on my way to brunch, but I occasionally get a CD made, and you're doing a great job, Mike. How you doing?
I was enjoying when I heard it.
Good. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're hanging in there. We're the last two standing.
Pastor Rick, you just stole all of my thunder. I was going to make the Duck Dynasty comparison, and I was hearing you do that and going, oh, man.
Well,
hey, I can't even read the screen, so I didn't know what you were going to say.
You can roll with it, man.
No, I didn't even tell anybody.
You're now a talk show host. You can continue on.
I hope that ABC does for Tim Allen and this show what Barack Obama did for guns.
There you go. Now that's good. You just got the pastor to spit out his diet pop. That is great. That is great. That's the best thing I've seen all day.
Well, I had never even heard of this show, and then the whole controversy starts about them getting, because I don't watch a heck of a lot of TV.
Right.
I'm telling you, that is a series that needs to be binge-watched.
This could be the best thing that ever happened to the show, really.
Yeah, well, but now I can't go and watch it on ABC. I'm certainly not about to do that.
Right.
Do you have Netflix?
Netflix.
I do have Netflix.
It's on Netflix?
It's just reactivated, so I'm going to have to take a look at it.
Yeah, start with season 1. Episode 1 and just work through it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna.
That'd be great.
You will love it.
And this show, I just predict huge successes for this show.
What I don't really understand is why, and the liberals have been screaming about this show for 6 years, and I don't understand why, because it makes fun of everybody. Of everyone. And they do have characters on there that are extremely progressive. that in the household of Tim Allen, and he's got to survive with that. He's got one daughter on his side. He's got one conservative daughter who's his favorite daughter, and everyone and one is brain dead, and the wife and the oldest daughter are way to the left, and the oldest daughter marries a Canadian progressive.
Oh my gosh! Is this show going to give me like?
No. Okay. You actually learn that you can have communications with people that don't think like you and not all of a sudden want to kill them. It's all about the tolerance that I've been talking about.
Yeah.
You
learn how to do it.
Yeah, you actually see that it can be done, well, in Fantasyland on TV. But,
and now, see, when I think of Tim Allen, I think of Mike Langford and Guys in Trucks, because I was, a fan of Home Improvement.
And
obviously.
They make so many homages, and I'm not going to ruin it because you're going to Netflix.
All right.
They make so many homages to Home Improvement. It's not funny. I mean, actually, it's hilarious. It really is funny. Even every now and then, you'll hear in the background. I'll say this: you'll hear his infamous grunt in the background.
See, that I hated.
No, it's just the background.
That bugged me.
Just a little, but
on the Home Improvement show, that just
every now and then you'll hear a little music clip from the bump music of Home Improvement going
on. So the real fans will be able to tie that.
Yeah, the real fans will be able to get it. I watched an episode last night. It had what's his name from the Tonight Show? The car guy, Big Chin.
Jay Leno.
Jay Leno, thank you.
Thank you.
They had Jay Leno on in this episode.
I'm drawing a complete blank.
And so his wife, Tim Allen's wife, buys him a car, a classic car, which is a reference back to Home Improvement,
right.
And ends up buying it from Jay Leno. He's not Jay Leno, he plays another guy. And he comes in there and he says, yeah, I'm just bored. I've recently retired for the second time, which is a straight drawback to his Tonight Show time. And in the end, Tim Allen says, hey, all I got was a toolbox, a cardboard box, and a Tonight Show cup.
So that's funny.
It is. They just make these little connections throughout, and you just watch it, you'll love it.
Yeah. Now, Mike, were you a fan of that show?
Of
Home Improvement?
Oh, God, yes.
Oh.
When you said you didn't like the grunting, I secretly had a little soundboard that I had to scratch out there.
Uh-oh.
Hey, watch season 4. That's all I'm going to say. Watch season 4.
Of Last Man Standing?
Of Last Man Standing.
Okay. See, now everybody's going to have to go home and just do this for the whole weekend.
With Wham playing in the background.
Yes, of course, with Wham playing in the background.
Well, that's the end of the audio clip. Thank you for tuning into this video on my channel and being a subscriber if you are. If you aren't, I hope you will. If you've not seen Last Man Standing, I hope what you heard today will convince you that you need to, like Pastor Rick suggested, binge watch this on Netflix, or like I said, you could catch the rerun on various channels up and down the dial of Last Man Standing. Don't confuse it with Last Man on Earth or whatever that other dumb bad comedy is. Last Man Standing. And if you're bored on Saturdays, don't listen to the same old rerun radio. You can get live conservative radio on Saturdays, noon to 3. Tune in radio, Wham Radio, WAAM 1600 AM. Again, that's WAAM, Saturdays, noon to 3, noon to 1, The American Dream, which this clip was taken from 1 to 2, The Daily Drift with Gary Wellings, hot topics, state and national issues, state of Michigan. For those of you that don't know, I'm from Michigan. And from 2 to 3, Pastor Rick Dietering, who was on the show there with Linda Hughes, The American Dream, has his own show with Phil Starzl called Moment of Clarity, Saturdays live, 2 to 3. Today he's discussing the Civil War because it's Memorial Month. Again, thank you for your time. Greatly appreciate it. Feel free to comment. Love to have any comments. Hopefully contact Fox, tell them to pick up Last Man Standing. Contact ABC Network, let them know that you're pissed off with their clearly, blatantly political decision to cancel the only conservative show on television. Thanks and have a great day. God bless you all.